Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. This is the first time today I have sat down to do any knitting at all. I've been in my garden all day. I had to force myself to go out because my grass needed cutting. I've got 3 lawns, very large one, a medium one in the front garden and a small one at the top in my back garden. And they wanted cutting for a while, and every time I thought about it, it rained or something like that. And I know in the next 3 days we are going to get heavy rain. So I knew I could have had Monday, Tuesday and today to do these, but I just could not be bothered. I just did not want to go out and do anything in the garden, but I had to force myself today because I knew if I don't get it done today, and all this rain we're going to get, and it would not get done. So I had to force myself today. So I cut the 3 lawns. I went out 11:30 this morning. By the time I finished, what I had to do in the house, and I had washing and that to sort out and hang out, and well, I didn't hang it out after I'd finished cutting the grass, but there was washing to hang out and other things. And it was warmer outside than it was in my house. The sun is shining now. I'm using my tablet most of the time now because of the sun affects the auto brightness on my computer, but it doesn't seem to affect my tablet. But the sun's shining now. But the only problem is the sun shines, especially this time of year. I get it in the front garden, but not in the back. It goes down the back garden very quick. So I went out in the morning to cut the grass, and it took me till 12:30. I had to keep stopping every couple of times. I went across the lawn and back again, and the grass was that high. The box was full every couple of things. I don't know how many times I emptied it, but I got sick of emptying it actually. I have compost bins in the back garden that I put all my grass cuttings in for if I ever get round to growing anything in my garden, which I'm going to do next year. So I was just emptying the things into the compost bins, and then I stopped for my lunch. Well, I hung the washing out first because I was waiting till after I'd cut the grass, because I didn't want I would be walking under and around the washing lines and that, and they get in the way when I'm cutting the grass. So I waited till after I'd finished cutting the grass, and I hung the washing out, and then I went in and had my lunch and had to sit down for half an hour, and I came back out again at 1:30 to cut my hedge. It's a very long hedge. It took me 2 hours to do it, and then I had to pick all the mess up afterwards, and I put all the mess into the council bin, that we get for putting the things like that in, grass cuttings and stuff like that. Normally I have it's what's called, it's a hedge groom, and it's like a lawnmower for going over your hedge, and it collects all the cuttings and cuts them all up ready for your compost bin. But I let my hedge get too high, so I had to use the hedge cutter, the one, with the long thing on with the teeth thing. Had to use that one, so I had to pick up all. When I use the hedge groom, I don't have to pick anything up afterwards. It all collects in the box on the top. But I had to pick all this up. It took me ages to pick it up all, sweep all the mess up, and all the time I was doing it, I wanted to sit down. I was saying, don't sit down, Sheila, you'll not get back up again. So I did, and I'm sitting down, and I am well and truly knackered. And I don't care if you don't like that language, that's what I've used. But I'm sitting down and I'm doing a bit of the cardigan for Daggery. I've sorted this one out. I'd forgot when I was going to do the bigger sizes. I've put a cable at the front. I was going to put a cable down there as well on the front. I forgot when I sorted it out, so it's only got the one cable on the front, but the back has the 2. The back part has the 2 cables on there like that. So I had to sort that out. I sorted that out yesterday because I hadn't worked out the instructions for the two fronts, and when I've done the fronts I'm going to have to work out the instructions for the sleeves. So I haven't made myself a cup of tea yet. It is actually 4:15. I sat down to do this video and forgot all about making myself a cup of tea first, but I'll have one after I've done this video. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing this. I didn't get any of the one I'm doing for the tutorial, this little one here, because I do this one in the morning after my breakfast and after I've tidied up and all that with being my garden. I didn't get any of that done, so that'll be tomorrow before I do any more of that one, and then I can work a bit more with the tutorial when I've done a bit more of that one. But anyway, I got a little bit of my own done last night. I want to show you my own, what I got. I've lost the ball of wool there. You know, it's such a long time since I've left this. I think it's over 2 years when I started this, actually. And I had wrote the notes down, what I had done for the back and up to what I had done on the front. And you know, I spent more time. I spent about an hour last night. I finished what I was knitting, and I was starting on this at 10 o'clock. And I hunted and hunted through all my notes. I knew I've got different size notepads. I've got little pads. I've got one that size, which I do all my, I put my notes, the rough notes and that for what I'm making. And then I have a smaller one, you know, it's a little bit smaller, that one, which I just put anything in. And I knew I had wrote them down. I hadn't wrote them in one of these books, but I know I had wrote them in a small book, and I've got 2 books like this. And I was hunted and hunted, went through all the notes, everything that's written down in the book, and the only thing I could think of, I must have been tearing pages out there I thought I was finished with, and I think I must have tore the pages out there. I had the instructions for this. I couldn't remember what the rows were, because there's actually 4 rows to the pattern, and it's got a slip stitch on here, and one of the rows, when you do the slip stitch, you're actually knitting all the way across, except you're slipping that stitch. And one on the another side, that there's different stitches in those 4 rows, and I couldn't remember exactly what they were, so I had to trial and error. I had to knit what I thought they were, and then when I got the right row right, I wrote it down in the book. And I wrote it down in one of my bigger books, the ones I keep for the proper notes for doing things like this. I write them in that notebook first before I write them into my big ledger, to get them all right first. That's what I do. So I had to work that out. Well, I had to sit and had to count the stitches up, how many stitches I had across. Well, I didn't need to go across, I just counted the stitches I had on the needle, so to write the stitches down for when I come to do the other side, so I know how many stitches and what I actually started off with for the pattern, so that the pattern would be the same on the other side. It will be a little bit different because I've started with one of the slip stitch near the edge there, but this little bit in the middle is on the end bit there, so I have to do this opposite way around when I do the other side. But then I'm going to have to go onto the back and work out how many stitches I had after I'd cast the stitches off, for to come up here and for the shoulders and all that, because I've lost all my notes and I don't know how many stitches I have. I could have screamed last night when I'm saying it took me nearly an hour, because when I couldn't find them in the little book, I started looking through all the other books, and I'm looking through, I have a little basket with all different kinds of books, and maybe I've wrote them in one of those ones, and I'm just looking through them and I still couldn't find it. I gave up after about an hour, and I realised I must have tore the notes out when I've been tearing out pages that I'm finished with in the notebook and throwing them away, like, you know. That's so annoying when you do something like that, something you want. Of course, like I'm saying, it's about 2 years. It's more than 2 years, actually. I'm sure it was about 2 years in May or June, July, something like that, when I actually started this cardigan. And I have just never had time to pick it up. And I think I started doing it for the summer, and then I got to the winter, and I thought, well, I'm just going to leave that because I wear sweaters in the winter. I don't wear cardigans in the winter, so I thought I'll just leave it until early next year, and I'll start again for the summer. And I never got around to it. But I am determined. I'm going to finish it this time, even if it doesn't fit me. After I have finished it, it will be on sale on my eBay shop if it's too big, because I have a feeling it might be too big. Because me thinking this pattern will be in a lot of garter stitch and that in it, I decided to do it on, I didn't do a swatch or anything like that, and I'm working on 4.5mm needles, which is making it bigger, and I should have just left it on the 4mm needles. Probably would have been okay, but it's too late now, so I'm not pulling. I already had knit the front up once, and I was putting the band on. I included the band in it, but the band just was not coming out tidy, so I pulled it out. So I could have had one piece done if I hadn't done this in the first place. This could have been the second piece I was on to. But you know, these things come to try you. So anyway, I'm going to work out what row I'm doing now. I've got to do 2 knit stitches. Got to do 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch. And this is where I get mixed up, because there's garter stitch and knit one, and I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm not sure whether it should be a knit stitch or a purl, those 4 stitches should be knit or purl. I'm going to have to check in my book to see what row I'm on to. I think it's a purl, because I want the little thingy, the knit stitches on the other side, so it'll be a purl on here. Yes, that's right, because I have 3 stitches between. When you look at that, the little bit garter, it's not garter, it's actually purl, but there's 3 rows between. That's knit. So I have to do a purl on there to get those 3 rows. That's right. I'll check in my book and see what row that actually is I'm doing, so I'll be able to keep an eye on the book. So anyway, that's my day for today. Gardening, and now a little bit knitting, and now that's all I'm going to do. I'll be getting my tea later on, but I'm going to make myself a cup of tea before I go anything else. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.